going to be a hard road, but we're going to go in this completely new way and do something completely different. And, we're going to just do it instead of doing what it does, and it just holds on to old mindsets and just doesn't change anything. So, anyway, that's my rant for right now. So PHP, my admin is installed. All that stuff got installed. That's really awesome. That's really good. Cool. Woohoo! Woohoo! So now I need to actually edit some things, and I'm gonna type ls to do lists, so I can list my directory, and I'm gonna change directory. So change directory is cd and usr. So and then it's ls again, and cd local, cd etc, cd apache. Yeah, I'm smoking. And then list, and I want to go edit this file. So I could do this two ways. I can change directory and go all the way as deep as I went to change directory all the way where I went down. I'm gonna show you something. This is actually kind of cool. Boop. So here I am back at basically the home. So I could do this. I could say nano and say /user /local /etc /apache 24 /httpd.conf. And if you know where your files are on your server, you can get directly to those files from anywhere, right? So there's some things that I need to add to my httpd.config file. This is the file that Apache uses to configure itself. There's some things I need to add to it because I've added PHP and I've added PHP my admin, and so there's just some things I need to change. So Nano is a text-based is a terminal-based text editor. So I'm going to keep going down. I'm looking for a specific line in all this code. Well, this is not really code. This isn't code. This is just a configuration file. So this is what I'm going to look for. The first thing I want to look for is I want to look for if module dir underscore module, and I'm looking for where it says directory index.html. I want to add something to that. I want to add index.php and then space. So now this understands that I can use PHP with my server. And I'm going to hit page down and go all the way down to the very end of my document, and I'm going to type in some new things. Actually, I'm not going to type them in. I have them saved in a text file, and I will put this in a link in the description. I'm going to save this stuff to a text file. And while I still have Nano open, and this is one of the reasons why I love using Bitvice. Bitvice lets you copy and paste from Windows into the Bitvice window. So right now, since I have Nano open, when I paste this, it's going to paste it right into my Nano file. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to click into my Nano file. So left click into my Nano file and then right click. And when I do that, you can see some brand new stuff got added to my file. So you can see right here, starting from where it says files match, all the way down to where it says directory, that stuff just got added. And you can even see I can copy from my Bitvice window by just selecting something with my left mouse button and then letting go, and it'll copy it to the clipboard. And that's one reason why I really like using Bitvice. So everything that I added starts right here. So where it says files match /.php #, and then setting the handler, all this stuff is there. It's all added. And one thing that I also added was I added an alias for my PHP my admin folder that was made inside of my www folder for the Apache server, because I want to be able just to type /PHP my admin in my here inside of my browser instead of having to type PHP, uppercase M, uppercase A every time. So let's try it out and see if it works. So I'm going to say PHP my, so I'm going to say PHP my admin and see what happens. Oh, it says, look, the requested URL was not found on your server. Well, reasons why, there's two things. One, I have not saved this http.config file yet. So to save in Nano, I'm going to hit Control and the O key on my keyboard, and you can see it says file name to write. Do I want to write httpd.conf? I'm going to say yes and hit enter. And it wrote 544 lines. And I want to exit this. I want to hit Control and X, and I exit out of Nano, and I'm back to the command prompt. So if I go in here and hit refresh, and you see it still doesn't work, it's like, oh, it's broken, it's broken. Well, it's not broken. What happened is that I have added PHP, I've added PHP my admin, but the Apache web server doesn't know anything about the changes that I've made to it. So I need to restart the web server. So I'm going to say service and then Apache 24 and say restart. And it's restarted. So now if I come in here and hit refresh, oh, look at there. You can see that I've got my PHP, my admin screen pops up, and it pops up for me using this. And I could change this to whatever I wanted to. I don't have to have this be PHP my admin. I could actually go back, and if I press the up key on my keyboard while I'm inside of BitVice, it will cycle through all the commands that I've given to the command line. So I could go back and change this. Say page down. And right here where you see where it says alias, I could change that alias completely. I could change that alias to PHP admin. And I'm going to say Control O to write it out, hit enter, and then X. And now I'm going to restart my web server. So service Apache 24 restart. Oh, service Apache 24 restart. And there it is. It restarted and everything's good. So now if I hit refresh on this, oh, it doesn't find that anymore because I changed that, right? Now it's just PHP admin. And you can see, look at that. I can make that a custom thing. It's like custom. That's like custom now. I customize that. See, it's custom. Custom, custom, custom. The way that that works, if you look at the very end of this, is you can see I set up an alias. So this alias is basically saying that this / PHP admin really is pointing to this part of the server, which is still the actual real place where it's supposed to go. I just made up a different alias so that this can find this very easy. So I'm actually gonna do something really cool with this. I'm gonna change this again. And you're like Doc, what are you doing, Doc? I'm gonna change this again. I'm gonna make this PHX web. So PHX web. There you go. That's something for you right there. And we're gonna save that out and hit X. And we're gonna restart Apache again, and then this is now gonna be PHX web. And there you go. You see, there it is. It's right there. Now we cannot get into my PHP admin yet because we have not set up the MySQL yet, and we should have done that before. And I was so into it, and I forgot about it, and now I got to go back and do it. So it's actually pretty easy. Only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run from command line. So we're going to say MySQL. We're going to secure MySQL. So MySQL _ secure _ installation. And it's going to ask you first, do you want to enter a root password? It's going to ask you to enter the root password. At this point, you do not have a root password. So you just want to hit enter. And it's going to say, do you want to set one? I want to say yes. And I'm going to give it a new root password. and I'm going to re-enter that root password. And then it's going to say, do you want to remove anonymous users? I'm going to say yes, I don't want any anonymous users. And this one is one where normally you should not allow a remote connection to root into your MySQL database, and I'll tell you why. You do not normally want to have a remote connection into your MySQL database, because if you take this and you deploy this at an enterprise level and you give root access into the MySQL database, you are basically giving somebody a backdoor into the database from anywhere. Because right now, if you turn this off, if you say disallow remote login, if you disallow root login remotely, if you say yes to disallow it, then you cannot log in as root from somewhere else. Because somebody might try to use like a brute attack, brute force attack, and try to get into your database. And if you open that door up to them, then the door is there. You've done it. So I'm going to say yes. And then do I want to remove the test database? Yes, remove the test database, and then reload the privileges table now? Yes. Cleaning it up, everything's good. So now I can go here to PHP my admin. I can type in root. Now, you might say, but you're doing root. You just said don't do root. No, I'm doing root from a local computer. You want to be able to do root from a local computer. You just don't want to be able to do root from a remote computer. So I'm going to type root and do that. Hit OK. And you can see, there we go. We are inside of our own personal PHP and Apache server running on your FreeNas server box, or your FreeNas box rather. One last thing that I want to finish up with, because when you're uploading stuff to a web server to test out your web services stuff, usually you have to do FTP to get to it, and you have to FTP into it and get all this stuff in there. If you're running a FreeNas box, this is so awesome. It's so easy. Watch this. I'm going to go in here and go to sharing, and you'll see the Windows shares. So I've got a bunch of Windows shares set up. Like I've got this 3D repo, I've got this Kodi and Genesis stuff set up, library, my movies, my render folder for my network, my TV folder. I even got a retro games share, so I've got all these retro games that are just in the same space, and I have another web server already set up. So I'm going to add a new share. So I'm going to add this Windows share, and I'm going to get the path to it. So I'm going to browse and then go to mount, and the path of it is going to be wherever the jail is saved at. When I first set this up, my jails are saved to this PHX media, which is the very first one that I have. So I'm going to go in there, look for the jails folder, and I'm going to go in here and look for, there's my PHX web folder, and I'm going to go look in user and in local and www, and then there's my Apache. Oh my god. And go inside my Apache folder and then go to the data folder. And you'll see inside of the data folder, there's just that index.html. That's the file that said it works. That's the root of your, this is basically, this data folder is the root of your website. So what I want to do is I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to say the PHX web and local. And I'm not going to allow guest access or anything like that. And I can look at advanced mode and see what I have in here. I can allow guest access. I can tell it what host that I want to let have access to this folder and whatnot, or to this share rather. And I'm just going to hit OK. By doing this, by setting up a Windows share folder, this is really awesome. I set up a Windows share folder. And if I go in here and look at my network, and go look at my network, and you can see all my Kodi boxes, and I'll be doing some videos on Kodi stuff this year as well. So you can see my Kodi boxes showing up there. And then my other boxes should be showing up in a second. My networks, I got quite a bit of things on my network, honestly. I've probably got about 25 to 40 computers on my network at any given time. Come on, buddy. You can find it. You can find it. Actually, you know what? Let's just screw it. So, there we go. There's my that PHX is basically my NAS box. It's my FreeNas server. So let's make sure this is actually set up, and it is, and everything's Gouda for it. And let's refresh this box again. And it should be showing up there. I don't know what's going on with that. Have to give it a second because it's a brand new share. So let's just say, oh, you know what? Probably screwed it up because I put this stupid local crap on there. I should have just did this. So that's probably what did it. I was trying to get all fancy like and scruffled it up. And let's refresh now. So now if I go in here and type PHX web, it should let me come to that share. That's really weird. See, that stuff's in there. And I will say that anything that I own on my servers, I do actually own. Oh, there it is. PHX web. It just needed a second to refresh. And you can see, look, there's my index file. Look at that. If I double click on it and open it, it's going to ask me to open it up in Edge. I don't want to. I don't want to. If I open it up in here, look, it says it works. Oh my God, it's awesome. So the reason why this is even really cool is that what I've done is I've given myself a path to directly put my files into and test them out. So this is really awesome. This is really cool. Because in the next video, I'm going to show you how to set up Joomla, and I'm going to show you how to set up Moodle. I'm going to show you how to set up WordPress and all those other database things directly on your little server, and they'll all have their own folder. And I can show you what I'm talking about because I've got another server set up on my network. You're like, of course you do, doctor. Yes, of course I do. So if I go here and type to my, if I go type to the basically the root of my Apache folder or my Apache server, I can go here and look at my Joomla folder, and inside of the Joomla folder I have a version of Joomla running, and this is for a client right now. So this is Miss Jasmine Harris. A big shout out to Miss Jasmine Harris because we're currently working on her I'm So Worth It website, and this is a Joomla install. And then I also have a Moodle install because we're working with building a Moodle. And we're working on some, you guys know we have the great Maya stuff that we do here on the channel. I've actually got some Maya stuff brewing, and I'm going to build a Moodle classroom, coming this year. It's going to be pretty awesome. And we've got a Presta store. I'm playing around with Presta, trying to understand how Presta works. So, and you can see I'm running all this stuff, and I've even got a WordPress. All this stuff is running from the same... from basically the same place in time. So I can say PHP my admin, and you see I have another PHP my admin install, and here you can see there's my Joomla database, there's my Presta database, there's my WordPress database, and then I even have a Kodi database. I have a database for my Kodi stuff. So Kodi and stuff are running in here, which is pretty cool. So in the next video, next time that we join, that everyone joins me, you ladies and gents, when you join me here on YouTube, I will have videos up on how to install Joomla, how to install Moodle, and all the other things I just showed you, how to install those locally, and you can be able to develop for your stuff on your own web server. How freaking cool is that? Anyway, my digital mutants, I hope you were able to swallow the digital pill for your prescription today. And I will see you here next time on Dr. Media Channel on Phoenix Inceptions Media.